I hope the audio is working. It seems to be from this end, so let me just do a quick double check here. It seems to be good. Hopefully it is good. But today's reading, of course, is once again from the Science of Mind magazine and the daily guides. As I've said many times, we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. We are based in Spring, Texas, which is about 30 miles north of Houston, something like that, give or take, in that region. As a reminder, the writings this month are from Reverend Christian Sorensen, who is the Chief Minister and Spiritual Director, Spiritual Leader of the CSL community in Encinitas, California, which is called Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. Today's reading is called Leave the Restrictions Behind. Leave the Restrictions Behind. So, let's see. The first quote is from the book of Exodus, which of course is one of the first 5 books of the Bible, as many of you know, the Torah. You shall not oppress a stranger, since you yourselves know the feelings of a stranger. For you also were strangers in the land of Egypt. And that's Exodus chapter 23, verse 9. And probably some of you are very familiar with that. Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook on page 46 says, as spirit passes into our being, it, capitalized, automatically becomes the law of our lives. It can pass into expression through us only as we consciously allow it to do so. If you want to look at it another way, spirit is always operating in and as and through us. However, it can only express itself fully or even partially sometimes when we actually acknowledge that and allow it to happen. How do we do that? Through our spiritual work. Reverend Christian then goes on to talk about Passover. He says, Passover offers a powerful story with metaphors for all of us. Passover is a time of transition, leaving the controlling corporeal world and entering the guidance of the spiritual realm. The desire to leave behind the restriction of the physical realm and enter the freedom of the spiritual realm is a process of becoming. When in your spiritual development you claim the divine and make it known, much of what plagues you in the fear-filled, controlling world will pass you by. As you mark your world for spirit, the all goodness, you connect with the heavenly kingdom here on earth. You realize that the promised land of love and harmonious living is not some far-off place. It is available now to those whose consciousness allows the deadly grip of despair to pass them by. Rescind any welcoming invitation to the dark thoughts ever lurking in the lower vibration of consciousness. Place yourself on the path that calls you to a lighter plane of the divine's nature of love, compassion, understanding, wisdom, ease, grace, and abundance. You will find your path rising above the fray and exposing your true nature, which is God's, or the Spirit's, the all, the divine's nature made manifest as your life. So in other words, when we acknowledge that spirit is the all that is within us, that spirit's power is available to us, then it gives us the opportunity to take advantage of that and to bring about goodness, not only in our own lives, which it certainly does, but in the lives of all those around us, those for whom we pray. And as we pray and as we do our spiritual work, we raise our vibration. And as we raise our vibration, we raise the vibration of those around us. And when those around us raise the vibration, it spreads out like a wave. It's like a pebble that's thrown, a huge pebble, say, is thrown in a lake, and you see the ripples flowing out. And that's consciousness. Spirit is always there. It's because it's our essence. It's everything that we are. However, what we're saying here is that we can only use it when we acknowledge it. The fact is that Jesus told us to pray always. We are always praying, quote unquote. Prayer really is putting thought and feeling into the universal subjective, the divine mind, if you like. And our job is to do that consciously, because often unconsciously we have feelings and thoughts floating around in our minds. And if it's really true that thought plus feeling equals belief, then we're pushing beliefs out all the time. And as we do our work more and more and more, what happens is that we transform, as he says, what those dark thoughts, what does he call them? Rescind any welcoming invitation to the dark thoughts ever lurking in the lower vibration of consciousness. So we get rid of all that stuff. We replace it with good things for ourselves, for those around us, for our world. And that's really our job. In other words, it's praying and holding that high watch that Reverend Jesse has often talked about. So it's really as simple as that. Reverend Christian Sorensen grew up in Sight of Mind. Therefore, it's second nature to him. To a lot of us, it's not second nature, and we've had to learn it. Since most of us didn't grow up with it, we've had to actually go out and learn how to do these things. And we've learned to become consciously aware of what's going in our minds. You might flip it around and look at it the other way and say, live a life of awareness. When you live a life of awareness, and some of you may be sick about hearing this, but it's important. When you live a life of awareness, you're able to do something about it, whatever it is. Whether it's just a physical thing, it's thoughts, whatever. When you're living in awareness, you have power, you have control. You have control over what's going on in your mind, and what's going on in your mind influences what's going on all around you. Therefore, in other words, live a life of awareness. He calls it leave the restrictions behind. You leave the restrictions behind once you realize that you're not subject to them any longer. It's really as simple as that. Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and she will be talking from her, I always forget the name of it, Courage, Conviction, and Consciousness, I think. These are powerful words by the women in New Thought, mostly in the last half of the 19th century, first half of the 20th century. It's really good stuff. She may be coming towards the end of it now. I'm not quite sure, actually. Tomorrow, I'll have a guest on, and we're going to do two things. We're going to discuss tomorrow's reading, actually live, as we're on there. And we're also going to tell you about a really cool class that's coming up, which can help you do exactly what's being talked about today. That's my just little tidbit of information to encourage you to tune in tomorrow. Whether you tune in live, whether you tune in to the recordings, doesn't really matter. The message is the same. It isn't my message. It's not really even Christian Sorensen's message. It's a message from the divine that's being given to you through us, if you want to look at it that way. I choose to do that. As I come back to my regular screen, oh dear me, it's gone away again. I'm just going to move this along. I just want to wish all of you a great rest of the day. I want to wish each of you that strength to build up your true foundation so that when the winds of change come along and the storms come along, you will be able to withstand them for yourself and for others. Build that steady, that strong foundation. Until next time, au revoir, namaste, and see you tomorrow. Bye.